that she works with in just a moment. But first, please welcome Alicia Johnson-Williams. So, Alicia, for folks who are not familiar, may not have had a chance to visit which has played a part in several presidential campaigns. Tell folks about what it is, a little bit about the history.
So, as we know, Bethel Auditorium was known some many years ago as the Municipal Auditorium of Birmingham, Alabama, built in 1924. It in fact turned 100 years on last year. But I can officially share, I have two aunties who were born and raised here in Birmingham, Alabama, who remind me on a regular basis that there was a time we couldn't go in the building. And so I have the privilege to be able to say to you, it's an honor to serve in a space where at one point in time I was not welcome. My staff would not have been welcome. The leadership of City Hall would not have been welcome, and there we are. And so while we know that Bull Connor, in fact, there's so many stories. One that comes to mind is the story of Eleanor Roosevelt when right after the Great Depression, when so many cities were hurting. Birmingham was one of those where lots of people were unemployed, and so.
I will be done with the troubles of this world, troubles of the world, troubles of the world. Soon I will be done with the troubles of the world. Going home to live with my God.
They said, wait. Well, I waited. For 100 years I waited. In cotton fields, kitchens, balconies, in bread lines, on back doors, on chain gangs, in stinking colored toilets and crowded ghettos, outside of schools and voting booths. And some said,
Lame.
And some said,
No.
Then a new wind blew, and a new voice strong twins require urgency. Strong, determined, sure.
No, it said, not never, not later, not too soon. Now, walk.
And other voices echoed the freedom words. Walk together, children, don't get weary. Whispered them, sang them, prayed them, shouted them.
Walk.
And I watched the shape of one memory until a link in the chain of patient acquiescence grew.
Then again,
Sit down.
and I sat down at the
Daniel and Daddy, and went back with my mother. Daddy was beaten, but first time I ever saw brass knuckles. My mother was stabbed, and then somebody closed the door on my ankle. I don't know if they were keeping me in to save me. Whatever it was, I didn't get out. But later on, as God would have it, in 1963, would you hold it up for me, baby? I got this. Ethan, Mr. Armstrong, the local barber here in Birmingham, what Pat and Nathaniel Lee and I had started trying to register into Phillips, he was able to do it. Segregation was null and void in the city of Birmingham, and Daddy escorted Dwight and his brother, Armstrong young men, into Graymont Elementary School. And I think when my parents were 100 years old, we did a Zoom from Bethel and Greater New Life. But the things that have happened since then, I want to show you. And I got slides. So when you come, email me. This is what I want to tell you. I met a man this morning at breakfast and his lovely wife who worked with Smith. And I want to say to anybody in this room that worked with
my parents. I need to know what you did. I'm writing his history.
Oh, that's
Our
awesome.
history is not, I started by telling you about Mr. and Mrs. Robinson, right? Not in the history book. Nathaniel Lee, not in the history book. We must tell our story and tell it completely. And I'm working on that. If you can help me, University of Alabama is going to publish my book.
Okay.
If you can show me artifacts, evidence of arrest and movement with dead, it will be in there. Congressman from Sewell. Every time I come to Bethel, when we were in the old Bethel, I got so many pictures of you. In fact, I will be back here May the 29th, celebrating my mother's 100th done. It took me about 5 years to realize that we're safe now. We didn't get the night phone calls, the threats, the police knocking on the door at any time of the night, and they would always say, "Good morning, officers, how can I help you?" He taught me to persevere, to get through whatever you got to get through. And I applaud you leaders in Congress, because I know you will get through what you have to get through. God has always he was getting the Fred Shuttlesworth Award. We were in there practicing because they wanted the children to sing. All of a sudden, our practice was interrupted because they had dogs and things, getting it ready for him to come and speak. Congress people, we need you at your best. Let me hear you say it.
Nathaniel Lee.
He died recently, and I'm so glad that I hadn't had the time to thank him for his sacrifice. When we left here, I was 16. I graduated.